Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm David. We got to talk about episode 11 of season 41, Do or Die Survivor.
We are doing or dying, guys. This is what a season with an episode.
Truly.
Let's get into it. But first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.
And we are on Patreon. If you want to support us over there, patreon.com/nerdtainment. It's
Check it
pretty
out.
cheap, pretty fun. Join us.
Cheap and fun, Sarah and David, you know it.
Yeah, right, exactly.
That's how we roll.
Well, we are coming off of that Shan blindside, and Leanna's not pleased.
Oh boy, are we? We were doing the night vision a lot longer
Mhm.
than usual. We had a lot
Yes,
to
there's a
get off
lot
our
to cover.
chests
Yeah.
here. Yeah. Liana is like, break it down for me, guys.
Yeah, she's like,
What?
help me understand. Because from where I'm standing, look at us and look at that. There's 3 of us now and 4 of them. So I don't know what you were thinking.
Yeah.
We're cannibalizing ourselves here.
I mean, fair.
Yeah. And they're like, it wasn't our plan. It wasn't our plan. And she's like, whose plan was it? And what does it really matter? Like, why didn't we stick together? Like, she's just kind of like, it's about to get real, you guys. And it's your fault. It's certainly not mine. And, we've got Xander over there who's like, ooh, this is nice. Oh, wow. I just get to come back and am I in an alliance? Like, am I in charge?
Yeah. Because Ricard, Xander, Erica, and Heather are like, how about this 4?
Yeah.
How about this? Like all of a sudden, these 4 who have been like just scraping by are like, could we have a majority? Like, what's
Truly.
up, guys?
All it took was Ricard flipping over to them and getting out his number 1 Shan. And then those 3 are like, wow, this feels different. Like, okay, we are enjoying this feeling. And Deshaun is like, why do I got to be the snake? He comes over to Ricard. He I'm not sure why he's confronting Ricard about this, because Ricard didn't call Deshaun a snake. Shan did.
No.
But, Deshaun's just butthurt. And he's like, why weren't you the snake, Ricard? You were her number 1.
Yeah, I mean, he is like obviously upset about the snake comment. Who wouldn't be? I get it. Who wouldn't be? Especially when one person gets like massive props and then you get called a snake and you're like, oh, okay. Wait, why? Yeah, I don't know that he went about it in the best way. He's, confronting Ricard, which I don't know that I would confront Ricard.
Yeah.
About anything. I'd play it off real cool in front of someone who makes moves.
Exactly. I mean, I think, Deshaun is trying to kind of frame it as like Ricard's a threat because, Shan said that she was going to vote for Ricard for $1 million. But Ricard's just kind of like, sucks to suck, Deshaun. Like, your game is bad. So it's really not my problem.
Ricard said some really truthful statements here. He was like talking about how Deshaun doesn't know how to pick a lane, basically. Like, he's over here and then he's over here. And he's also not taking ownership. Like, oh, all of a sudden it's Shan's fault that she called him a snake. It was interesting how that might have paid off there. But the next day, in the light of day, things are a little different, at least for Deshaun. Right.
It really is one of the, I often think about these tense, post-tribal conversations in the middle of the night and how I would kind of handle that. And I really would, I'm not saying that I would be able to do this, but I would tell myself going into the season, just sleep on it before you say anything, because you just need to give yourself a chance to simmer down, collect your thoughts, and really think about what's the best way to go about this? Who do I need to talk to? What do I need to say? Because Deshaun wakes up the next morning and he's like, ooh, I came off pretty paranoid there. And like, I thought I
Maybe I
was
shouldn't have.
like making some good game moves, but it didn't come off like that. So
Yeah.
he's with Ricard and he's like trying to smooth that over. And then he's trying to make up with Liana. Of course, I would never vote for you, Liana. And Liana's like, yeah, right. I'm keeping the door open to revenge on you.
Yeah, she's like, "Honey, revenge is the name of the game here, buddy. I don't buy anything that you're selling right now."
No.
But of course, I mean, he's doing what he's gotta do. I wish he would have either done that last night or just gone to sleep. Like,
Yep.
don't show your emotions, keep it under
Right.
wraps.
Right.
The next day, be all cool with whatever you need to be cool with,
Yes.
you
That's
know?
right.
But he didn't.
He
Then we move
didn't.
into what Danny's dealing with, and this is a rough day for Danny.
Rough day, 25th anniversary of his dad's death. And we kind of get this really elaborate backstory of like his
Yeah,
relationship with his father and, the things that he needs to make peace with that
yeah.
relationship. And he now is feeling like he wants to make his dad proud. I'm watching this, Sarah, thinking like, do we get photos and produced backstories like this that often? Like, I think we got one with Deshaun earlier on this season, but
Mhm.
this feels like a new development on Survivor.
This season, we've had a lot more of
Yeah.
this sort of character development. I think they're pulling it from other international,
Okay.
versions of the show. But yeah, it was interesting that we got like that little package about Ricard's loss of hearing,
Yeah.
and like that was just a couple weeks ago, and now we're getting this from Danny. Makes me
Hmm.
feel like late in the game, you either go home that episode or this is building something for us.
Well, to me, I watched, I'm like, he's either going home or he's winning immunity. Those are the two
Exactly.
options for me
Yeah.
here.
Yep. And I think, yeah, I think
Yeah.
that proved itself.
Yeah, it sure
Proved
did.
itself. It
Because
was an
then we go
interesting
into immunity.
journey,
Yeah.
though, about Danny's story. I mean, I've never heard this type of. I mean, he was very young when his dad passed in an accident,
Yeah.
and to harbor anger
Hmm.
for your dad dying on you young, when in reality, your dad didn't actually have control over that. That was interesting to me because I don't know, I don't hear that very often, and
Yeah.
how it's taken him so long to realize he needs to release that anger, that he does not get, he doesn't have to blame his dad for that,
Hmm.
is an interesting journey.
Yeah. Yeah. But it really was like the first time. I mean, I I don't think I really thought that Danny was going home here. Like, I still think like Danny's gonna win the game. So I was
Right.
like, oh, this is Danny has been playing so under the radar. Like I've been saying that he's been playing the perfect under the radar game. And I'm like,
Yeah.
here we are. Like now we're
Yeah.
finally getting something from Danny significant. Like this is definitely a moment.
Yeah.
And so I think this is just the beginning of what we're going to be seeing from Danny.
Exactly, exactly. So, like you said, we're gonna head into an immunity challenge here, but first, Jeff's gotta be Oprah again.
Yeah.
Jeff
Thought
Jeff
of you
said, "Here's my
immediately.
show. Here's my show, guys. Let me walk and talk to you to camera and set it up for this amazing new thing that's about to happen. It's gonna shake up the game." Like, what? You're just like, Jeff, what are we
He
doing?
truly is like, I mean, Jeff has won so many Emmys for Survivor, right? For hosting this show. I think he's like, I've had enough of RuPaul winning outstanding reality host.
Yeah.
I'm getting that statue back. So I'm gonna be involved and I'm gonna do walk and talks and I'm gonna talk to the camera. And I'm like, okay, Jeff, do you? Great.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, this is a new era. This is what we do now.
Yeah.
And I just love that they like edit it where he's like, all right, bring them in, like at the end. And then they like walk
Yes.
in and you're just like, what
Right.
is
Right.
this
But it's
new
all
show?
about big decisions and big
Yeah.
risks and Survivor 41, drop the 4, leave the 1, we're starting over. Like it's more of that. But
Lots of
it
that.
is a big deal, when he finally explains to everybody what the choice is. And
Yes.
the choice is if you decide to participate in immunity and you are the first person out, you've got to play do or die. at tribal council, and there's a chance that you're going to go out without even a vote. If you don't participate, say fine, whatever, you just lose your shot at immunity. So you're,
Yeah.
it's also a risk. So
Yeah. Do you feel like that's the bigger risk for you, sitting out and not winning immunity, or being possibly the first one to drop and possibly leaving this game
yeah,
just without even a vote, just
right.
by
Like
chance, a game of
basically
chance?
like another like Sari, where you are out without a vote because you're the only person eligible to go home in this instance.
Look,
So
I love a twist. Okay. I know we've talked about this. 98% of you guys do not like twists,
yeah, we
and
know.
I'm all for them.
Yeah.
But when it comes to just a game of chance or luck, I don't know, that one just doesn't seem as fun to me, right?
Yeah, like it's fun when you go to rocks because you have been through a couple votes and you're deadlocked, and chance is the only way to determine who's going home at this point because the tribe is locked. That is interesting because there are
Mhm.
like risks that you're weighing there as a tribe. Like, do you want to flip your vote or not? Like, do you want to leave it deadlocked and leave yourself vulnerable? There's a lot of layers there.
Yeah.
This one, yeah, I don't know. It just
Yeah.
feels like really a bummer for whoever. It's just sucks.
Yeah, it's just like, well, hope you have good luck. I don't know. I don't know. This one wasn't as exciting to me, or I just couldn't get like super like, yeah, let's mess with these people. I was like, well, I don't know if I really
Mhm.
want to mess with them like this, but here we are,
I
guys. So, oh,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I mean, I was just gonna say, like, Heather and Liana are the two who sit out. I, hate to make it like a gender thing, but I did sort of expect all three women to sit out because it's like it's a physical challenge where you're like holding, things. I guess it doesn't require like so much upper body strength, but I don't know. I just kind of thought like with holding anything up for a long period of time, your shoulders start to get tired, your arms start to
It's
get
true.
tired.
It is upper body.
Stereotypically, I think
Hmm.
that you might expect the men to do better. So the fact that Erica chose to play, I was like kind of excited that it wasn't totally, divided in that way.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I honestly was like, I don't know what would make me sit out, but I'd also be so terrified to
So scared.
play.
Yeah.
So interestingly enough, we only see Heather and Liana sit out,
Hmm.
which I figured it was going to be a low number.
Yeah.
Yeah, not surprised it was only two people. So Danny, Deshaun, Ricard, Xander, and Erica are going to play. And I think Erica is
Hmm.
just too scared.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think Heather was smart to sit out because I don't think she was in danger. And I think
Right.
she would have been first out.
Yeah,
There's at
very
least a really
possible.
good chance. So,
Well, Jeff, Oprah is set us up. We've seen this comp before. We're holding a ball on this little bar. He's ready. You guys, whoever's the first with the tension, I can feel the tension because I'm terrified. Who's going to be the first one to drop? And then 3 seconds, he tells us, Deshaun drops the ball. And then
whew.
Mr. Oprah himself was so pissed. He was like, well, that drama was over quick. And then I could just
He's
see at the edit point, Jeff looking over at the producers and being like,
seriously with this. I was ready.
seriously?
Do you know how many lines I had prepped in my head
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
build the drama of this?
We go through all of this work to come up with these brilliant twists and they just drop like this.
This is
He was
it?
like throwing his hands.
I know. I mean, Deshaun is just distraught, and I love it's like dramatic cut to Liana immediately as soon as Deshaun drops, and she's like, I thought so,
I did
Deshaun.
honestly at that point, I thought Liana was like blowing a wind towards Deshaun's ball. She was
She's
like,
like
revenge is a
sending mental
bitch.
waves. Yeah. Oh my God, it was amazing. But then, I mean, everybody else makes it through that first round. And then in the second round, I felt so bad for Erica because she drops with like 5 seconds left.
Yeah.
As Jeff is counting down, she, loses her grip on that, and she's out in, I think, the next round. So it's down to Ricard, Xander, and Danny. And
Yeah.
then Ricard and Xander drop at the same time.
Yeah,
Danny
basically at the
wins
same time.
immunity. No surprise there
No
for me.
surprise. I mean,
Yeah.
I think whenever you have something extra emotional going on anyway, sometimes you do have that like oomph behind you.
Yeah.
But we also could tell by the edit that he was going to win here.
And
So way to
also,
go, Danny.
like, this is the game that Danny has been playing. He has been throwing challenges. I guarantee it. And now the first moment that he realized he was in danger, he won immunity. So not going to be surprised if we see him win more.
Yeah, I actually thought of you in this moment where I was like, David's been telling me Danny's throwing comps. And here we are.
Yeah.
He's like, I might be in danger, but also like in honor of my dad, I'm gonna win today. Like I felt like he just gave himself permission.
As soon as he wants to win, he's gonna win. So
yeah,
here we are. Now we go back to camp, right? And this is, Deshaun is basically off the table now. Ricard is saying like, yeah, we wanted to vote Deshaun out, but now it's just going to be either he's out or he's safe and he's ineligible for the vote. So he's ineligible for a vote either way, right? It's just a matter of like, is he out or not in this game of chance? But they've got to come up with whatever their plan is in case there is a vote and Deshaun is safe. Danny and Deshaun want Ricard to go.
Sure.
And so, Danny is pulling Xander aside. And he's really trying to work that. And, Ricard's such a threat. And it would be great to work together, blah, blah, blah. And Xander's going along with it. But he very reasonably to us is like, I don't trust Liana. Liana has thrown my name out more times than I can count. And so I would be fine with her going home at this point.
Yeah. He's like, I'm feeling more like Liana should go, but also for once in my life, I might be in the majority. And so I'd like to keep my numbers with Ricard. Like, honestly, from Xander's perspective, it would be so dumb to vote out Ricard right now. And wisely, I love to hear that Xander was like, he's my shield. Once Ricard goes, I'm sitting over here with an idol. No one's saying my name. I'm not getting rid of my shield. Like that actually does make a lot of sense for Xander. I also wanted to point out because I thought Deshaun, when we come back and he's like all cool about like, it is what it is, guys. I mean, I was mad at first, but like, we'll see. I think there was a part of him that was like, you fools were going to vote me out tonight and you might not be able to.
Yeah, sure.
Like, he's like, either y'all don't get to vote me out and I just go, or y'all don't get to vote me out at all. And I was like, okay, maybe that's why he's playing it a little cool.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, there is a chance that he's going to be safe. But Erica is also eyeing Ricard. And I very much think that this conversation is the edit. Because I think Erica is smarter than this. I mean, she is saying like, Ricard is so good at everything. He's a huge threat. He could run away with this game, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right. But to me, Erica just teamed up with folks to get Shan out, including, Xander, Ricard, Heather, whatever. And now she's sitting real nice with this group of people who were once on the bottom. Why would she then flip back to Danny, Deshaun, and Liana to vote Ricard out and put herself in jeopardy again? Like I'm like, she's too smart for this. And I think she realizes that she's got to get someone, she's got to get Liana out essentially because Deshaun's not the option and Danny's safe. So I think she knew she needed to get Liana out and maybe she could target Ricard next week. And then she'd still have numbers with Xander and Heather to go after Danny. So she's like a numbers person. She's super smart. But, they're trying to make it seem like she's considering Ricard in the edit.
Yeah, I'm glad that you were that confident because I would like to think all of that, but I
Yeah,
was like, if Erica, for some reason, feels like she's sitting so pretty that she could get rid of her majority that she just got for the first
just
time.
built.
I
Yeah,
mean, I guess she was safe on a tribe that won, but she was the one they all wanted out. Like, she
that's
was
right.
not having influence or having any agency. Like, she has been clawing out of her little hole that she was
Mhm.
in for whatever reason at the beginning of the game. So here she is with a bit of an alliance. And if she honestly thought that this was the time to take out the person who beats you
I
in the
know,
end,
I
which,
know.
yes, you're right, he
You're right.
does. But if this were the time to take him out when you still have other numbers against you,
Yeah.
that would have blown my mind.
And you've still got Xander, you've still got Danny, people who could beat Ricard in immunity challenges. You're not to the
Yes.
point where Ricard's guaranteed to win out, like, yes,
Mhm.
he's good at everything, but you've
Mhm.
still got, and Erica, you're smart. If there's puzzles, like, you could beat
Right.
Ricard at a puzzle potentially. There are still people who can beat Ricard. Like, to me, it was just like, it's not the time to go after Ricard. And I was pretty confident that she knew that, but
Yeah.
they did this edit to make it seem like she was the swing vote. We've got Liana considering her shot in the dark. That's coming up because this is the last chance, and
I think you were more confident than Xander because he's going to do something that
I know, I was
works
shocked.
against her. So
Yeah.
I don't know if everybody was feeling as confident as you are.
Hmm.
Ricard and Xander are going to have a conversation where Xander sort of reveals like Erica is a little squirmish. She's not
Yeah.
sure if she's dead set on the vote, which is interesting when you give Ricard that information.
Hmm.
So even though we might think that they are an alliance right now, I feel like Ricard is going to let Erica go first or vice versa.
Yeah.
Um, and then, yeah, like you said, Liana is obviously very worried she's the easy vote here. She might need to play her shot in the dark. I
Yeah.
would say, why didn't you, girl?
Agreed. It's your last chance. Like,
Literally, this was
yeah,
it. I
this
almost
was
half
it.
expected like Heather and a couple other people to do it and the vote just
I
be
know.
really
Yeah.
wonky.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, just to protect yourself. I don't know.
Yeah, truly. But
Okay.
going into tribal, it's this, where's Erica going to go? She's the swing vote. She can't
Sure.
figure out which play is better for her. She's talking about, like, you watching at home are probably saying, like, it's so obvious what you need to do, but I'm in the game. And so I don't really know. So we go into this tribal, Sarah, 25 minutes left in the hour. I was like,
Yes.
woo, it's going to be a doozy of a tribal.
Yeah, I was not sure what that meant to have so much time. I was like, what is this chance of game, do or die? Like, does
Yeah.
this take 20 minutes?
Is it a fire making thing or
Yeah.
something?
But to be honest, it kind of turned into like a beautiful tribal.
I cried. It was really beautiful and incredible to hear a
Yes.
diversity of perspectives on this issue that we've heard a lot about. Like, we heard, a lot. We've heard about it in Bachelor and Bachelorette. We've heard about it on Big Brother, of course, and now it's Survivor's turn to sort of have these conversations. And it's just every time it's different, which speaks to what Liana, ended up saying. Like, there is a diversity of Black experiences in America, and we are not a
Hmm.
monolith. And so, like, that's why it's cool to continue having these conversations and hearing from new people, because they're going to teach us new things. So it starts like,
Yeah.
I did love, like, walking into tribal and Shan looked stank. Like, she was not happy
Oh
to
my
be
God.
sitting on that
That
jury.
face she had, she was not about any one of them.
No.
But it did soften a little bit as we, like, continued this conversation. I
It
think
did.
she
Oh my
really
goodness.
I bet she wanted to speak up, and I felt bad that she couldn't speak up in this moment. I
Yeah.
think that Deshaun started he was like, I need to back this up a little bit and I need to
Hmm.
clear the air on a few things, honestly, to save his butt. I think that he
Yeah.
was covering his tail. He was trying to expose Ricard a little bit more. Like, he is not wanting to carry this snake thing, you know, completely. He wants to get
Right.
some stuff out there.
Right.
So it starts. like that, but it does turn so emotional for him when he explained like why the Shan vote was so hard and the cultural element of it. And then for
Yeah.
Liana to just like take the baton and just speak so beautifully and perfectly. I mean, I wish I could to even recap what she said as well as she did.
Yeah.
She spelled it out from so many different angles, and
Mhm.
explaining how like she's just always a Black woman, like that is always
First.
something she carries with her, and then to bring it into this game, which we have honestly had the privilege to see how reality television had handled it so poorly for so many years, and they've been
Mhm.
forced to figure some stuff out, and then to watch real humans navigate that, because
Yeah.
at the end of the day they are humans, and we act a certain way outside of the game, but we can't help but bring that into the game. And then even she circled around to, I know some people don't want to even see this in the reality shows, and I'm like,
Yes.
girl, yes.
You know there are people out there saying it. They say it in
Yeah,
our comments section.
yes,
And she's saying like, I know y'all don't want to see this, but like we are just human beings and like
yes.
this is how we walk through the world.
Seriously, I mean, this is a little off topic, but I just read like a book review like on Amazon or whatever it was for a book, and it was just a mystery novel, but the
Mhm.
literal comment was, this book talked about masks and COVID, and I don't read this for political views. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, like you're reviewing a book because it's incorporating stuff that we are dealing with on a regular basis."
Yeah,
That's what these humans are doing playing this game of Survivor.
I
They're
know.
still dealing with things they deal with outside of it.
It
So,
just it's like yeah, it sucks that like their humanity is politicized, you know, and
yeah.
like the people have issues with talking about these things because they are it's like there's a political divide, right?
Mhm.
About like how people feel about this. And that's why people don't want it to come up on their reality show that's supposed to be an escape. But it's like
Well, it's not an
these
escape for those people
this is
playing.
their reality. Exactly.
Yeah.
They live this, and the least we can do is listen. That's
Yeah.
it, you know? And she just really spoke beautifully about I mean, it really she's like you say, she set game aside. Like Deshaun was
Yeah.
emotional and she was like, I'm not taking any there's no strategy here in terms of like
Mhm.
trying to frame anybody else. I'm just going to speak about my experience and you know talking about like what it meant to like see this amazing cast and to you know have the chance to work with other Black people, but at the same time not just wanting to do a Black alliance. Like they came here to play a game and they realize that there are like strategies to Survivor that have nothing to do with the color of your skin. Like it's really about like who you can trust. And, you know, trust can be formed across racial lines. And it just was really a great
Mhm.
conversation. And Danny had some interesting insights. I agree. Like I wish that Shan had been able to be a part of the conversation. I was kind of surprised that like you know, Ricard and Erica didn't contribute. But it definitely was like a moment for the Black people this season to kind of like express things. And oh no, we just lost Sarah in this incredibly important moment. And her internet is buffering. So we'll just give her a chance to come back. But it was, I just loved this tribal that it sort of became about that. And this was, you know, the chance for them to have you know, to have the moment to come together and talk about these important issues. Welcome back, Sarah.
Thank you for handling that. I'm at my mother-in-law's house, and someone just opened the garage door and the internet went out, I
No,
guess. I don't
oh
know.
my god.
I don't know if those are actually connected or if that was just a random coincidence, but I was like, "Okay, anyway, I'm back." Glad we're talking about deep stuff, and first I
Yeah,
got something in my eye, so I was like, "Yeah, that,"
yeah, I know.
and then I went bye-bye, but
Yeah.
okay, thank you
Oh,
for
I
handling
also
that.
loved like just I mean, I just sort of tied it in a bow, but I did love that Jeff was like, Heather, say something. And Heather was like, Deshaun, thank you for sharing. You know, we're learning. Like she clearly was a little bit out of her depth. But like, I think that's an important perspective to see too. Like, there are some people who just aren't necessarily confronted with these things every day and they don't always know what to say. But like, very nice to see
No.
Heather as someone who, you know, doesn't have much to contribute, but is listening and learning. And like, that's equally important. So,
Yeah, unfortunately, the things that are being revealed is that she has a lot of learning to do,
mhm.
and she was the one who said, "I'm sorry," and I was like, "Oh, there's probably a reason she said I'm sorry." Made me think things were said earlier, but I mean,
Um,
it's true. We all need to be listening, and we all need to be learning because I
mhm.
certainly have not walked in Shan's shoes or Danny's
Yeah.
shoes. So I have no ability to speak on that whatsoever.
Yeah.
Uh, I am grateful that, everyone is speaking up and,
Yeah.
being a part of this.
Yeah.
We are all living together, guys.
We certainly are. So we go into do or die with 13 minutes left. Now, I've got my eye on that clock, Sarah. I'm like, where are we? What's going to happen? You know, I'm like trying to spoil myself here. Like, is
Uh-huh.
there only
Mhm.
enough time left in the episode for him to like do this challenge or whatever? But when
Right.
we come back, Jeff explains. Now, maybe I missed this detail when Jeff explained the whole twist, but I did not realize he was going to choose from 3 boxes and would only have a 33% chance of staying.
I mean, honestly, I thought it was gonna be 2. I thought it was gonna be like a coin flip. I thought it
Me
was gonna
too.
be
Okay.
I mean, if
Same.
you say chance or die, chance or die, do or die chance, you've got a stay or
Do
a
or die.
leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got 2, and then all of a sudden we have 3 here, but 2 of them are a bye-bye.
Yeah.
Only
I
1
loved
of
it.
them is a stay.
I loved this. I was
Oh
like,
my
okay, this
gosh.
is because I think the coin flip is like the obvious thing. I was like,
Yeah.
thank you for like thinking one step further and giving us like even more drama. And this, I mean, Jeff was like,
Yeah.
yes, as soon as he saw the one that Deshaun picked.
He was like, all right, here we go." I don't know. I was a little like, "Oh, what do you guys really want this person to go? Is that what you
Mm,
want? This person to just
mm,
leave? You gave them 2 dead skull boxes. We got a flame for life and a skull for you straight up dead and get the heck out
yeah.
of here."
Yeah.
So he's going to pick a box.
Yep.
And then we're going to play this Monty Hall thing.
Yeah.
Uh he pulls over the other 2 and he's going
Uh-huh.
to reveal one.
So of course he reveals the skull. Like he knows which one is
He
which.
knows. Producers know.
So
So he reveals a skull, and now Deshaun can choose again. Now, oddly enough, Christian Hubicki, is that how you pronounce his last name? Survivor
okay. Yeah.
Christian.
Yeah.
He tweeted out that statistically, odds are better if you swap. So once you're down to 2, odds are if you swap higher for you to win. I don't know
Huh.
how that works. I'm not a statistics person, but I was shocked that he
Yeah.
said that because obviously we see
Interesting.
Deshaun sticking with his gut. I believe in
Yeah.
sticking with your gut, guys. He said, "This
Absolutely.
box stood out to me. I'm going to keep it."
Interesting. Yeah. So, I mean, good for him. The producers must have been like, yes, as soon as
Yes.
he, decided to stick with it because like that's just awesome to have a very low chance of staying, all things considered, and for him to
Yeah.
pick the right thing and stick with it, have the confidence that he drew that flame and he is safe. So now Jeff's
He's
like,
safe.
let's go vote. Evie's like, who are they going to vote? Like, we didn't even have a tribal where we figured out who the target
Yeah,
was.
we didn't talk anything. He's like, "All right, Ricard, you're up." Ricard's literally like, "Wait, I have to vote? Okay, we did talk about a plan. Okay, like he seemed so thrown, and they're all of a sudden like, "Okay, vote." Deshaun's like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
y'all, let's go vote. Come on,
Yeah.
let's do it."
Deshaun's ready. Yep.
Yeah. We see Ricard vote for Liana, obviously.
Uh-huh.
We see
Yeah.
Danny vote for Ricard. So
Yep. So we
those
know it's
plans are
Danny
on
or
track.
Liana or Ricard or
Mhm.
Liana, excuse me. Yeah. So then when we actually get back to read the votes, it's Ricard, Liana, Ricard, Liana, Ricard, Liana. We're tied 3-3. Presumably there's
Yeah.
one vote left.
Presumably, Then all of a sudden, he's like, there's a fourth one for Liana, but he's still acting like we got more votes to go. And I'm like, wait, what's happening?
What's happening?
We get
Yeah.
3 more votes for Liana. So she has
No,
5
2 more.
total.
Oh,
Well,
yeah, you're right. Yep. 5 total versus 3 for
5
Ricard.
total. Because Xander used his extra vote to make sure that Liana was going to go.
Yeah. I mean, they clearly thought Erica was not trustworthy, but if she weren't trustworthy, then we would have ended in a tie between Ricard and Liana, and then I wonder what would have happened. But, I guess it was to just guarantee that, like, Ricard wasn't gonna be automatically out because Erica flipped, and, like, maybe if they needed to, they could, convince Erica, like, it's not the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was surprised to see 5 for Liana and 3 for Ricard.
Yeah. Very surprised. I mean, Xander seems to hold on to his advantages as long as
I know.
possible. So the
Yep.
fact that he finally used one makes me think he really wanted Liana out, which
He
did.
did.
We know that.
And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, next week was the last week that he would be able to use that. I think the extra vote was until final 6.
Okay. I don't remember that, but that sounds right. Something was to final 6, so that could
Yeah.
be final vote. Since the shot in the
Yeah.
dark is out, why Liana didn't play that? Why?
Yeah.
Why?
I know she knew she was in the minority. So
She knew she was in trouble, possibly.
mhm.
And she really wanted her vote to count against Ricard. Somebody convinced her. I bet Deshawn was like, "We got Erica. You're okay."
Mhm.
I bet
Yeah.
Deshawn was convinced that they had Erica, and they did not.
I don't know.
I
Were they
guess.
even I just am, like, struggling to even remember if Deshawn and Danny strategized with Erica. Like, I thought Danny was kinda more on the Xander train with trying to get Ricard out. I don't know, but did you see Deshawn and
What do
Danny
you
try to
mean?
pull? Because I thought, like, I don't remember Deshawn strategizing with Erica specifically to the point where he would be like, we've got Erica. Like, Erica, considering Ricard, seemed like an independent thought.
Yeah, I hear
So
you.
I
I
don't.
thought I saw Deshawn talk to Erica. Maybe it wasn't
Okay,
because
maybe you're right.
I'm looking back on my notes and I didn't write it down. So,
Hmm.
but Erica and Deshawn do talk. They act like they work together,
True.
even though they don't. So
Yeah.
maybe I made that up in my head because
Mm,
they just usually talk. I don't know.
yeah.
I just
Yeah.
don't understand why Liana thought her vote for Ricard was more important than potentially saving herself. I don't know.
I know.
That's my
I don't
only
either.
thing I can come up with.
Yep. But she's gone. Should have used
Yeah,
it,
okay. I gotta say, even though I understand strategically why this vote happened, and I agree for Xander and Erica's game, uh,
Yeah.
but it is not cool to see Liana go right after Shan, especially
I
when
know.
we
It
have
sucks.
this beautiful tribal where Liana summed up so many things so wonderfully, and then to see her go, not cool on a
It's
human
not.
level,
Yeah.
but
But it's game.
I
It
get it
really is game.
strategically. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and unfortunately, Danny and Deshawn are in trouble now. But it's because they had that alliance. So it's not like, oh, we got to get them out because of their race right now. It's just like they were a team of people, and I think they would have definitely preferred to have gotten Danny or Deshawn out this episode. I think they were after Deshawn, but Liana was like, what is it? What do they call that when you're like a casualty, right? Of
Well,
not being
she's
able to
yeah,
get
right. You can't take out the person that you wanna take out, so you take out this other
Mhm,
person who's not really a threat, but she's just a number for that
right.
side.
Mhm.
Danny would have been the threat, but you can't get him out
Oh yeah.
either. So both of
No.
those guys are safe, and I
Mhm.
don't feel like I mean, I think Ricard has to still try to get out Deshawn, if he can. But I
Yeah.
don't think Erica, like this is the time to pivot. and I think they show us, I mean, the preview always leads us astray, but for the numbers to now mix up does make sense. So I don't know that Danny and Deshaun are the next targets, is what I'm saying.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I guess I agree with that. I think that Erica, Heather, and Xander could easily pivot, get Ricard out.
Yeah.
And then they still have 3 numbers to go after Danny and Deshaun. So they're in a good spot.
And then Danny and Deshaun really should try to get Xander out. And honestly, Erica should as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, now, now I think is the time where Erica can pull Heather, her number 1, back and forth in between camps. Like, I think next week she should pull Heather and Xander over to Danny and Deshaun and get Ricard out. Then pull Xander and Heather over here and get either Danny or Deshaun out. Then pull Heather back to either Danny or Deshaun, whoever's left, and get Xander out. Like, Erica just gets to pull Heather back and forth and take people out on either side.
If she can. I mean, that would be...
If she can.
Incredible if she can. So, wait, did I just realize that Erica and Heather are our last 2 females?
Yeah, with Liana gone, they are.
You had such strong females. Sarah. What happened?
Well, they got the good ones out because they have to. But Erica, I think, is going to reveal herself as a good strategy player in the back end.
She is. I mean, she has been playing it smart for sure. And we just, she was on the bottom. So she was like struggling to get noticed. But luckily she did not get voted out. And she's now, able to build something.
Do you remember, Sarah, when your friend said that Erica was his winner pick? And we laughed.
Oh my God, I did. But if Erica can do what you just said, then she's absolutely a winner pick. And maybe he just had more vision than I do.
Right.
Because guess what? If Erica's sitting next to Heather at the final, okay, guess who's winning?
Yeah.
Erica.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I think Danny's going to have more to say. I think the edit is giving me a lot of Danny signs.
And like, I wouldn't be surprised if there are more twists coming up, to like throw a wrench in that like ideal scenario. And also like, when I'm not even thinking about like when we get down to final 4 and then whoever wins immunity is picking and there's a fire making and all of that, like I'm not considering all of those things in that plan, but I just think that I'm just considering that Erica can bounce back and forth for a couple more weeks and then she might be sitting pretty making her way to the final.
Yeah. I mean, if we're looking at duos, Danny and Deshaun are a solid duo, and I think Erica and Heather are a solid duo.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, and that helps to have a duo, to have a guaranteed number. Mm-hmm. That really, really helps you. I have high hopes for Ricard, except that I don't know that he can make it. I don't know.
He doesn't have a duo. Exactly. He does not have a ride or die. So he's depending on the loyalty of everyone at this point.
Right. Which is going to change.
Yeah.
Weekly, daily, each tribal. Well, interesting episode. I'm glad that this twist did not just, ruin everything. Thankfully. And beautiful tribal, even though emotionally really sad wonderful to see Liana go, but I get it.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, you guys who hung out with us in the chat, thank you so much. We appreciate your insight.
We do. And if you're joining us later, let us know what you thought of this do or die twist. Did you like it? Did you not? Do you think that this is Danny coming alive and we're going to see a lot more winning from him? And it's sort of like, I would say, what do you think of everybody's game at this point? We're down to 6 now. So it's just 2 more eliminations before we're at that final 4 where someone's going to win and pull someone and make up the fire making. So we're like in the end game here.
Yeah, we have 2 more episodes, right? Next week and then the following week is finale.
Yeah. Ooh. So let us know like who you think has the best path to the $1 million at this point, because we're there. We're almost there.
Yes. Yes. We will have our ratings video on Monday. We should definitely dive in and talk about all that now that we are getting down to it. Yes, Kathy. Oh my God, Shan's face when Leona got voted out.
I know. She was so mad.
Not
Yeah.
happy about that at all. All right, you guys, we will see you on Monday. First, we will have our Survivor ratings video, but then also David and I will be here talking about The Bachelorette. So join us
Yes.
for both of them if you're up for it.
Yes.
And you guys have a wonderful weekend.
All right. See you then.
Bye,
Bye.
guys. Oh, I don't know where I am. Okay. Nope. Nope. Okay, bye.